Yeah, that's much better. Grossi Posse Packer Nation. Welcome to an episode of Packcast, the podcast where you don't have to Packers fan, but it sure does help. I'm your host, Tom. Bears tears always taste the most delicious. Grossi, and today we are going to break down the Sunday night football victory of the Green Bay Packers over the Chicago Bears, 27-10. And heading into this game, there was a little bit of nervousness, and it wasn't necessarily because it was the Bears, even though they did have a Week 1 victory over the San Francisco 49ers. But Week 2 has been absolutely chaotic, and nothing short of just fire everywhere. Ask the Browns, ask the Ravens, ask the Raiders. Any one of these teams will tell you that no lead was safe. So even when the Packers were up by a significant amount, I did not feel comfortable. But the Packers, though they definitely did have some mistakes here, were able to take care of business against the Bears and move to a 1-1 record. For this game, Packers fans got some great news that Elgton Jenkins and Allen Lazard would play, and I think it definitely made a difference, not only because Lazard did pretty well, but on top of that, just helping that offensive line a little bit. Of course, there's still questions about David Bakhtiari. We don't know when he's going to return, even though it really wasn't expected that he would be back this evening, but yeah, we need him back ASAP. Rodgers, 19 for 25, 234 yards, 2 touchdowns, was sacked 3 times, was pressured a bunch as well. And again, that offensive line is just not complete right now. There's some young talent on that squad, and Elgton Jenkins returning is really, really good, but we could use David Bakhtiari back, and Elgton Jenkins then can move wherever he would like. One of the big things in Minnesota that Aaron Rodgers said that he wanted to see going forward, and a lot of things that Packers fans were clamoring for, was the run game, and the Packers definitely dedicated the majority of this game to the run. Aaron Jones was the player of the night. 15 carries, 132 yards, 1 touchdown, also caught 3 receptions for 38 yards and another touchdown. He absolutely demolished the Bears defense tonight. A.J. Dillon, 18 carries for 61 yards. Sammy Watkins was the leading receiver with 3 catches for 93 yards. And so the offense was pretty well balanced. And to be completely honest, they would have scored even more points if it wasn't just for some bad mistakes. You had botched snaps, you had fumbles, and the Packers kind of shot themselves in the foot a few times that thankfully didn't end in disaster, but they could have put up even more points had they not made those mistakes. Meanwhile, with the Chicago Bears, Justin Fields, only 11 pass attempts, went 7 for 11 and 1 interception, ran the ball 8 times, got 20 yards on the ground and 1 touchdown, was also sacked 3 times. They were finding a lot of success in the run game as well, and I know Bears fans are kind of scratching their heads going, why didn't we just commit to the run more? Because David Montgomery, 15 carries, 122 yards. Equanimeous St. Brown, former Packer, was their leading receiver with only 2 catches, and Darnell Mooney was basically a non-factor tonight, so really limited the passing attack of Justin Fields and the Bears. And there was a controversial call in which Justin Fields on 4th and 1 out of the shotgun decided to do a QB draw, and it did not work. On the field, they said it wasn't a touchdown. Replay showed that his arm was definitely across the line. You could maybe make out a ball. However, the ref said the call stood on the field, and unfortunately for Bears fans, that means that they lost out on 6 points. Now, breaking down some other nuances of the game, the Packers allowing another opening drive TD. They did this in Minnesota. They did this once again against the Bears. But other than that, this defense played pretty darn good, besides, of course, the run defense. But they were able to pressure Justin Fields. On top of that, Jair Alexander getting the dagger interception at the very end, which was phenomenal to see. The Packers offense controlled time of possession 37 minutes and 15 seconds to 22:45, and they really were in the driver's seat for the majority of this game, which is why it's a tiny bit concerning that it was a little close at the end, especially if Justin Fields was able to score there. But like I said, Packers were able to take care of business. Now looking forward, next week they're going to be taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who are having their own wide receiver issues and plenty of injuries there. Mike Evans getting involved in a fight today. We'll see if he's even going to be available or if he's going to be suspended. Julio Jones also injured, as well as Chris Godwin. So that should be a decent matchup. especially for the offensive line, and that's going to be my primary concern. The Saints were able to find some running room today, so I think, again, you're just going to see a balanced attack here. They're going to have to commit to the run, and I think the best part about tonight was even when you had some fumbles or you had some plays not go their way, the Packers, for the most part, didn't get away from their game plan. They handed it to the hot hand, which was Aaron Jones tonight, and they were able to come out with a W. The Vikings are going to be playing later tonight, but the Packers moved to 1-1, avoid an 0-2 start, and honestly, that's kind of the best that we can ask for at this current time. Before we sign off, I want to do a big shout and thank you to some brand new Patreon and YouTube members. First, on the Patreon side of things, we have Tenor Mike 3, and over on the YouTube side of things, joining the Grossi Posse Plus, we got John Schwartz, we have Ryan Sheffy, we have Logie Logster 1, we have JC, we have Colleen Surik, we have Nick X Solo, we have Justin Mead, and Grade A Screw Up. A big shout out and thank you to you all. But let me know what you think down in the comments below. How'd you feel about this game? How do you feel about the Green Bay Packers moving forward? Let me know. You guys tell me at TomGrossiComedy.com or at TomGrossiComedy, all social media you see down below. Check out podcasts on SoundCloud, iTunes, Google Play Music, Spotify, and of course YouTube. And a big shout and thank you to all the patrons over patreon.com/TomGrossiComedy and the YouTube members. But thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. And as always, go Pack Go.